2006. Anyway, I don't know if that's what you're looking for. If that's what you're looking for, then awesome. If it's not, it's not, and I'm sorry. You're trying to generate a solid shape from the outline, so after you figure out the outline, you need to find a way to calculate a bunch of triangles that are parallel to the plane being cut. Well, just take the normal and dot it with the vector from, the vertex interpolated from the center of the object or whatever, and if those two vectors line up, then you're normal to that surface or whatever. So I don't know. Sounds like an interesting thing. You cut chunks out of stuff and then like make new objects out of it. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I would do that in a render pass if I'm actually making new objects. That seems more like you do pre-render. Anyway, I'll get back to actually looking at this. So bright directional lights work well for daytime. The skylights work well for nighttime, but are bad for like an entire scene. So what we're gonna need is we're gonna need different light intensities for night and day, and we need that by skylight and directional light. We're going to need different sunrise, sunset angles for the sun and moon and all that stuff. The angle of the sun needs to go way higher than the angle of the moon. So the question is, if we're doing like a sunset sort of thing, man, yeah, there's not much time there. Like 6.5, we're behind the mountain. So it's like sunset literally is like the equivalent of 20 minutes or something. So I guess the question is, should I have some sort of the path of the sun in the sky? Should I artificially change sunrise and sunset to be different times, or just not really worry about it? Because we go from 6.6, which is behind the mountain, 6.7, 6.8. Yeah, so we go 6.6 to 6.8, so that's 0.2 of an hour. So the sun goes from like right here in 12. Sunset is 12 minutes long. That's that's obviously not how long sunset is. So what do we need to do? Because I want the sun basically to have this sort of sunrise and sunset. We're going to need to artificially inflate the time. Like sunrise and sunset should be, you know, quote unquote, an hour or two in each direction. So let's see if we had an exponential height angle. So let's see what an exponential height angle looks like on this real quick. Alright, so compute time of day during the daytime. This whole ball of stuff here calculates our time of day. So we have phase height, rise angle. So if we're going to do an exponential thing with this, let's see, we're going to want to multiply this by 2. I mean, I literally just did that same thing, but this is the rise angle. Okay, that's a different sort of equation. Well, we want, this will take it from -1 to 1. This value, I'm pretty sure. Like, this is the height angle, rise-min height. So we are already multiplying this by itself, is what it looks like. Okay, so this is the piece. This is one of the things I don't really like about, is 20 minutes a good amount of time for a day-night cycle? Well, it depends on your game. I mean, I would guess I would look at other games. So let's see, Terraria, like, that says 1 second of gameplay is equivalent to 1 minute in-game time with a 24-hour day. So 1 minute is equivalent to 1 hour in-game. So they have a 24-minute day-night cycle in Terraria. So I mean, if you just use that as a base of reference, then yeah, sure. For this game, the day-night cycle stuff probably, I don't think we're actually going to use a day-night cycle. It's kind of the wrong game for it. The only thing we'd have a day-night cycle for would be is if we had an endless runner mode, something like that. But a lot of this is just trying to get it so we could maybe have, you know, like a scene that's sunset. So let's see. So we're going to take this, we've multiplied it by 2, so it goes from -1 to 1. So this is -1 to 1. We multiply by itself, so it goes now from one to 1. 1.0f minus. So it goes from 1 to 0 to 1. So it's now going to go from 0 to 1 to 0. And we're actually wanting to not have this multiply by itself here is what it's kind of saying, but I don't really like that. I mean, it'd basically be us doing this sort of thing. So let's see if we don't have exponential. 6.5, 6.6, 6.7, 6.8. So is it 6.7? It is just over there. So 6.7, 6.8, 6.9, 6.7, 7.1. Alright, so 7.1, so 6.7 to 7.1, which is 0.4, so that would be like 20 minutes or something. Well, I don't really like that. That's not very good either. I like it the other way more. Alright. That's another thing is blueprints are not very nice for undoing actions. Like I mess with stuff in here and then like it's on the editor's undoing actions that I changed out here. And it's like, no, I want to undo, you know, the nodes in here that I messed with. It's like, ah. So, blueprints are kind of annoying for a few things. Alright, so if we have this exponential right here, this is going to go from 1 to 0 to 1. We could multiply it by itself again, and what that would do is make it go to 0 faster. This is already going. So it's going to spend most of its time hanging out at the top of the curve. We want to do the opposite, I guess. I mean, it would basically be multiplying it by itself right here after it is done this. And what that'll do is it'll make it stretch out the evening time. Let's see how that looks. So 6.6. So we go from 7 to 8, or 7.5. So that gives us half hour for sunrise and sunset. It's pretty much what we want. It's that sort of effect. Let's see, I think the landscape is casting shadows. I think we got these weird lines going in here, and what I've seen in the past is that's due to self-shadowing. Well, let's see if we compile, if we build the lighting in here, that stuff disappears. Yeah, it's shadow map precision, but we don't want shadows too much on here. Alright, it's not doing too much. I mean, we do want shadows on it, but so it's going to be the celestial light, it's going to be the, what, the cascaded, yeah, it's going to be the cascaded shadow maps. Alright, so the distribution exponent, I guess, is something that we can play with there. That'll make this not so crazy. Alright, so let's go to our test skybox, go to our celestial light, change our distribution exponent to 1, see how that looks. Yeah, I guess that's just something that we're going to have to deal with and all that. And we could solve that with more grass and more other stuff and maybe a better texture on the ground. So that's not too bad. Alright, well I'm going to be right back. Alright. Alright. So I need to figure out what I'm doing next here. It's alright, why don't we get the height angles nicely separated off for sun and moon. And I guess we're gonna need a rise min height. We're gonna need a rise angle and a height angle. So moon rise angle and a moon height angle. And we're gonna put this in night. Yeah, we'll throw the night sky color in there. Stars, yeah, stars should go in there as well. Sky color should go day-night cycle. And we should make a new one that is like day. Sun should go in there, moon should go in there. Sunrise, sunset, transition time, moonrise, moonset, and all that. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so this height angle, we need to replace this with the moon height angle. And we need the moon rise angle. Cool, that works. Alright, let's see. Let's make sure they're actually set proper. So this goes from 0 to 30, and what's our default? Default is 15. Alright, our height angle goes from 0 to 100. I think it was, what, 0 to 110? And the default, I think, should be 110. Alright, res is there. Moon height angle. This should go from 0 to 40 or something like that. Alright, so let's see. What does this look like now then? So we've got sky, we've got night, we've got day. Star brightness, all that sort of stuff. Sky color, night sky color. That looks pretty good. So time of day. So the moon comes up like that. The sun looks like that. let's see, 6.5, 6.6, 6.7, 6.8, 6.9, 7, 1, 2, 6. So from like 6 to 8 is when we kind of have these things going on. Rotate in a butterfly shape. Yeah, and then have Galileo show up, but he's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. This doesn't seem physically possible. Well, Kyrie Irving show up and be like, see, I told you it was a flat Earth. Transcendental plane curve. Yeah, well, I think I'll leave it as it is for now. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so we've got our things decoupled. So that's good. So what we need is... Yeah, we got the adjusting the light angle to different values for things during the day. We didn't... This sort of thing was not a good idea. See how long it takes for people to find out. We'll do it later. Alright, so we got the height angle as we would like it. So we need to make the actual, like the directional light work properly. We need kind of a sunrise sunset effect to actually happen, and we need a transition from kind of this, we need the brightness of our lights to work properly. So we need kind of like a day brightness, we need kind of a when the day starts and when the day ends. Alright, so let's get a new variable in here. You need to stop screwing around and start actually working on your game again? Hey, well, probably. That's how it goes. That's kind of one of the things is I work when I feel like working. That way when I don't feel like working, I don't have to work. And that seems to be a pretty decent balance for me. Alright, so I need like a... I guess a sunrise duration. And we're going to have that, like, I guess it should be like, 1 hour or something. And it should go from 0 to like 4 or something. We're going to want, and like, this is the duration of the sunrise. We're going to want a sunset duration. Like, we have this transition period and all that, but that's different. That's like day-night transition. This is actually the sun rising or setting. So this will be sunset duration. It'll go from 0 to 4 again, and we'll have it start at 0. So this will be the duration of the sunset. And what I also need is I need like a, how should I control the lighting? So like the lighting should be like the directional light intensity needs to be a certain value, but it needs to like, Yeah, we'll need... So sunlight intensity, so this is how bright the sun is. And it should be like, you know, from 5 to 20 with a default of 15. And that's going to be like our directional light intensity. And we want like an intensity for the sunlight during sunrise and during sunset. And we also want a skylight intensity. And that should be from like 0 to 5 with a default of 2. So this is how bright the environment is. So we have the skylight intensity and the sunlight intensity. And this should be the sun skylight intensity? Yeah, okay. We're also going to want the sunset color and the sunrise color. So let's see, we'll compile this out. So this will be the background color of the sunset. This will be the background color of the sunrise. So sunrise, I guess. I guess maybe we need like an orangish color. And sunset will have the same sort of thing, but have it be more red. Have it be darker. So what exactly do we need? We have sunset, sunlight intensity, I guess we're going to want the, because I haven't made this stuff before, I'm trying to figure out what variables I'll need for this. So we need like the sunrise duration, sunset duration, sunlight intensity, just how bright the sky is, but we're going to want to like dim everything, so we need like a sunset light intensity and a sunrise light intensity. So I'm going to, it should be from like 0 to 10. With a default value of 5. Alright, this is how bright the sun is at sunrise. This is how bright the sun is at sunset. Alright, so let's figure this out real quick. So this is our daytime stuff, so let's get it hooked up. So right here we've got between time of day minus sunrise divided by sunset minus sunrise. So this is from 0 to 1 with our stuff. So what we want is we want to know if we're inside of sunrise and sunset and all that. So if time of day minus sunrise we've got sunrise duration. Okay, so if time of day minus sunrise, so the amount of time that is passed in the day is less than the sunrise duration, let me have some more comments. This will be sunrise daytime. We'll get daytime and we'll also get sunset daytime. So let's get our reroute nodes hooked up here. Alright, so if this is true, then we're in sunrise. Alright, so if it's going to be sunset duration is 1, so it's going to be the sunset time, and we're going to get the time of day. So it's going to be the sunset minus the time of day. And if sunset minus time of day is less than the sunset duration, then less than the sunset duration, then we are in the if this is true, we're in sunset, otherwise we're in normal, regular daytime. So why don't we just replace this with a greater than? Alright, so what we need to do is, if we're in sunrise land, sunrise time, then we are fully in sunrise. So we're going to want to grab the celestial light what are we gonna do? We're gonna set our background color to a specific color. Let's see, where is it? We've got like our actual. Anyway, let's just save it, make sure we got that all saved up. Alright, so this is sky cube, star texture, star brightness, sky color. So it's the sky color, and we have night sky color. Alright, so it's going to be the. We're going to change the sky color? So we need to duplicate this and have an actual sky color. And this is not going to be a publicly available variable. So we're going to get the actual sky color and throw it in here for sky color. Alright, and inside of our compute time of day, we're going to need to set the actual sky color to the sky color. So for daytime, it'll look like that. For sunrise, we're not going to have our interpolation stuff just yet, so we're going to want to grab our sunrise color. And we'll slowly hook things up as we get going here. This will be our sunset color. Let's move this all around. Make it a little bit easier to deal with. Alright, so daytime, we'll set the actual sky color, which looked like it worked properly. Alright, so sunrise should be. So that's daytime. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Time of day, 6.5. So this is sunrise, 6.4, 6.5. Okay, so this is where sunrise starts. 6.5, 6.6, 6.7, 6.8, 6.9, 7, 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4, 7.5, 6. So that looks like that's the right time of day sort of thing. So if we have like that whole thing here. Oh wow, that's pretty ridiculous how yellow everything gets. And that's going to be because of the skybox's skylight? Yeah. Make everything super blue. The world of mustard. Alright. So what we want to do is we basically want to do a few things. I'm getting a little bit hungry, so I'm going to go grab something I can snack on. Well, I'm thinking I'm going to need a couple mathematical operations here to help me out. I need a remap function that I can call from inside of blueprints. And I think I'll add that to our math utils. So I'm going to detach the debugger here. And we'll go to our math utils. And what I'm going to want is a so let's just make one. So it'll be static float remap float. So we're going to have float low, low 1, low 2, float high 1, let's see, float low 2, float high 2, and we're going to want the value. Alright, so low 2 is going to by default be 0, and high 2 will be 1.0 by default. So we're going to call, remap float. So let's go ahead and make this math function. And I don't know if it already exists, but whatever. This will help us remap things from like 0 to 0.1 between 0 and 1. Alright, so that's going to let us mess with that. And another thing that I want is basically I want something to go from 0 to 1, stay 1 for a certain amount, and then go from 1 to 0 again. I'm not really sure of a good name for that. It's like a remap weight or something. So it would work kind of like this. We go like remap weight. So we'll have our value, we'll have our float min, float max. And it's basically like if value is less than min, then we return remap float between, it's going to be value, it's going to go from, the low one is going to be 0. We're going to have what? High one is min, and then it goes from 0 to 1. If value is greater than max, greater than or equal to max, then we return remap float value. We're going to go from 1 to 0.